My ZZ Raven plant is one of my favorites, but lately it just feels like it hasn't been doing much and I'm not seeing much growth. I took the plant out of the soil and I noticed that there are areas on the roots that indicate root rot have been present. So I put these in different cups. In each cup is a mixture of peroxide and water. There's 1 part peroxide and 2 parts water in each one of these cups. And I just let it sit in the cups um, for about an hour. Doing this is really cleaning up the plant and also killing off whatever was causing the root rot. I can see that there are areas where new growth is forming. So something's happening. I just have to aid it. I also noticed that the rhizomes weren't as full as they could have been. They looked really shrivelly. I mean, it just looked like they were not holding much water whatsoever. And that is one of their functions. So the plant didn't have a whole lot of moisture in the rhizomes. It wasn't holding a lot of water, which is really weird when you consider the fact that I strongly suspect that there was root rot present. And I just don't get that. Like, it seems that maybe the soil was kept too wet, but the roots weren't effectively getting that moisture to the rhizomes. Don't quite understand it, but I know that I have to switch it up, switch my process up a little bit. Um, and even I'm changing the container that the plant will go back in because it wasn't working for me before. So I just want to do different things. Also, I'm going to make sure that I incorporate a way for the plant to have the moisture that it needs without me having to physically water the plant every so often. Um, Self-watering containers have been working for me here lately, so I know that that's where I'm moving towards. I have the perfect system for this plant, and that's what I'm gonna do. I really want this plant to be healthy because this ZZ Raven is, I mean, it's a statement plant among my collection. It draws everyone's attention because there are not a whole lot of plants that look like this one. So we're going to get it back to the best of health that we can. My plants are now out of the water and peroxide mixture, and I've allowed them to dry for a couple of hours, and I'm just really checking over the roots. I see black tips on these roots, and just areas where I want to further trim the roots a little more, especially like there. I mean, you can tell that part of the root has obviously died, and so I'm just gonna, this part as well, clean these up even more than I already have, and I'm gonna get them ready to be repotted back into soil. Um, I'm excited because overall it looks good, and I think this plant will rebound well. Here it is, back in soil. I'm excited. I love the way that this raven looks in this pot. I love these self-watering containers. They make life easy for me. I think my plants like them. Uh, and overall, I'm just trying to move to bottom watering, and this makes it a whole lot easier because I can literally just water them and keep moving. I don't have to move the pot. I don't have to take it out of a cover pot and sit it in another container. For that to happen, I just let the system work the way that it was designed. And so I'm really excited because this looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I see that there are new points of growth. So I think, I'm setting this plant up for success, and I'm pretty happy about that. My plan is to be cognizant of how often I'm watering this plant, because I've noticed that with these containers, I have a habit of wanting to always see water in the container, and I have to stop myself because I mean, that's literally just another way of overwatering the plant. So I let the plant be without water in the reservoir for a couple of days before I add water back to it, just so I know that I am allowing the plant and the soil adequate time to dry out between waterings. Um, I'm really excited, really, really excited about this. I think it's gonna work well. It's been a while, and as you can see, there is new growth in my ZZ Raven. Like, we can actually see the new bright green leaves coming in, and I'm so excited because this is going to be just so beautiful. Of course, there are areas here that have not done so well, and we're just going to pluck those off, and we're going to keep moving. You win some, you lose some, and this plant is still obviously adjusting. um, so I'm just gonna make sure that in this process I treat it so that I'm getting rid of anything that's growing, any kind of pest that could be on the plant just from it being in close proximity with other plants. That's one of my biggest things that I'm working on as well. Increasing moisture to my plants, and then also trying to treat them for pests anytime that I am handling them and watering them. Like, just really working on my care routine. So I'm going in and I'm getting the dead leaves out of this plant right now. You see me doing that, and you can see there's an area of growth there as well. So I'm just waiting for those leaves to further grow in. I know that they will be beautiful as well. I'm just excited that it is above ground now, because previously when I looked at this plant, I could see no new growth above ground. So I already have a total of 3 shoots of new growth now that are above ground. One you can barely see there, but it's definitely there. And so we will definitely count that. Okay. 3 new shoots of growth above ground from really just making one simple change to the container and being more mindful of the fact that this plant needs more watering than I thought. So I added some mosquito bits to the soil and I wet them down really good. I watered the soil and I also added water to the reservoir, and I have some sticky traps in here as well, just to make sure that we get rid of fungus gnats, because I don't want them growing and in this soil, right? But I'm excited. I'll keep you posted.